guys? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Let me take me a sip of some water real quick. I want to say shout out to everybody. For those of you tuning back in, yes, I know I tried to make this video last night, but I was just too tired. I was too tired. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. With that being said, shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to all two of y'all. Shout out to the two people that always tune in whenever I go live. You guys are the reason I do this. Mm, Go ahead and make sure I have. I got my comments set up to appear, yeah, on this side of the screen. So, if you see any comments or whatever pop up, it's official, guys. I have comments on screen now. So if you want to make a comment, go ahead. Just if you make a comment, please be respectful. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole nine. Um, let's get into it. Let's get into it. First, I want to say shout out to Bayern Munich. Um, if you guys didn't watch the game yesterday, it was a I don't want to say it was a bad game, but it was one of those games where Madrid had a chance to win the game. They had a legit chance to win the game. And through just a series of unfortunate events, shout out to Lemony Snicket, any of you that get the joke or remember the books, a series of unfortunate events. But yeah, due to a series of unfortunate events, you had Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Because they both play well from the left side of the field. You have moments where one will be just like they'll be killing it. Like Mbappe will cut in from the left side, get into the box, and line up a shot, send it down. And depending on how good the goalie is, I'm not gonna lie, the goalie for this game earned his check. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna pull up some stats and stuff so you guys can see what I'm talking about. For those tuning in, shout out for tuning in. Talking about the Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. Um, I mean, if you can't tell from the shirt I'm wearing, I was going for Madrid. To be honest, and even the title of the video says it, but I have just given up hope on Madrid for the rest of the season. I think we still have there's like two matches left, but let me go see. Let me go see the lineups. Shrink it down a little. Okay, yeah. Let me go ahead and share my screen. But yeah, it was a close game. The game was fun. It was one of those soccer games where you were literally just if you had to go somewhere, you didn't go anywhere. If you needed to go to the bathroom, if you were watching on your phone, you took your phone with you, or you turned up the TV. So, like, even if you were in the bathroom, you could hear it. That's how good the game was, in my opinion. It was like, it was like this. It was like the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Not the last time. The last time the Chiefs went up against it, it was horrible. I don't know what Patrick Mahomes was doing. It just it wasn't going like that. Not that game. The last, not this last Super Bowl. The time before last, when it was more of an actual game between Kansas City and the Eagles. But yeah, this game was great. Let me go ahead and share the screen. I'm kind of rambling a bit, but let me go ahead and share screen. So yeah, as you guys can see, the final score was 4-3, but every part of the game had me just on cue. And I'm not gonna lie, I have not been the biggest soccer fan. I played a little bit when I was younger. Shout out to the homie Diego from Central. He played on the team, and Jordan. Shout out to the homie Jordan. I don't know what really happened to him, but I was cool with both of them, and they played for the soccer team at Central. They were cool. I played a few like pickup games with some of the guys that were also on the soccer team, but I never really thought about playing professional or high school soccer at all. For me, it was basketball. That was especially during like the prime Celtics years, where you had Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Rondo. Wait, did Shaq play with the Celtics? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, even Shaq played with the Celtics for a little minute during that like peak era where they had like the Big Five, Big Four, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this game was just overall. It was one of those. It was one of those games that really will make you a fan of soccer. I will say that. And to speak about the video title or the main topic that I wanted to get into tonight, yeah, the main thing that I've had to realize this past season, not just watching the Champions League, but La Liga, for as much money as Madrid has put into their team, it has been a complete waste. And I'll say this: the players are great individually. Mbappe, one of the best players coming out of France. Vinicius Jr., one of the best players coming out of Brazil. I think Jude Bellingham, he's coming. I think he's out of England. He's coming out of England somewhere. And well, they've got other people on the field too that have their standout moments. The biggest thing that I kind of didn't like, and what I noticed real early on, the teamwork with Bayern compared to Madrid is like night and day. You got Kane, Olise, Diaz, the big three out there for Bayern, and the rest kind of follow suit with them. Like, here's what I mean. So you got Olise and Diaz on the wings, and in the middle you got Kane. Now, when he played in the Premier League, Kane was all right. He was all right. He had potential. He was a hard worker, but when he moved to Bayern, the coaching staff, the strategy, it was like it was like the perfect melting pot for the talent. Now, I'll admit, Bayern is no different than Madrid and how in their approach to getting players. If you go down the list of Bayern's players, you'll notice they always either come from another big European team from the Premier League or another league, but in the Eurosphere, or they poach a lot of players from their other, from the fellow, from the sister teams. Like if you're a big star at what's the, so outside of Munich, Bayern Munich, there's I think Bayern Leverkusen and Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund. You know, it's not like Like in the NBA, you see it happen all the time. Like especially when LeBron was doing his like hunt for a super team, basically, because I think what happened, and don't quote me on this, because like I said, I'm not the biggest soccer fan, let alone I would say I'm the biggest basketball fan. I'll say I'm a Celtics fan all the way. When I'm definitely going to have a Larry Bird jersey at some point. But to get back to what I was saying, with this Madrid team, it's like LeBron when he first went to Miami. Like you have all the star power in a team, but and shout out to the Police and Sting, one of the greatest artists ever. There is no synchronicity between Real Madrid's players. Like there are moments where Vinny and Mbappe will link up because they both play from the left side. That's both their favorite side. And sometimes it works. They link up and the play is awesome. It's just the defense is shaking in their boots. Because as soon as you get the stop for Mbappe, here's Vinny running into the box to try to get, the second kickoff or try to counterattack. But when they're not, like I know Camavinga, another yeah, I'll say that. Camavinga is one of the well-known players for Madrid too. He's coming out of I think France. So another French league player. I don't know if he's playing for the national team, but and that's another thing too. It as an American, I'm proud, when we compete in the World Cup, but I'm gonna be honest. If I ever see the USA team going against France, I'm just not even gonna watch because listen, if you haven't watched the international matches for like the World Cup coming up, I'm just gonna call it now. If France do not win the World Cup, I'm gonna say the next up is either Germany, Portugal. I would say Argentina, but they were kind of mixed these last international matches that happened. But Argentina always one of the top contenders for the World Cup. But yeah, this year I'm putting my coins with France. Just the France national team is ridiculous. In the words of Red Fox, there's enough black dudes on the France national team to make a Tarzan movie. And yes, I know that you can call me racist or say I'm biased. If your team has more than 50% black players, like if the team's actual makeup, like half the team is black or more, I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna side with you a little bit. Now Germany, they're tough. Oh, and England. I forgot to mention England, but England had kind of a rough patch with their international matches too. But so let me get back to what I'm saying. I'm rambling again. But yeah, the yeah. Now that I think about it, the last coach, if I'm not mistaken, before this one got fired because him and Vinny, who's the let me ask ChatGPT. Damn, I had to rephrase it because when I typed it in, it gave me the current coach, Ancelotti, who's Ancelotti. He's Italian. Uh, no one. Stop. Let me not throw shade. I know Italy got kicked out of the World Cup race this year, and I know it's like the third time they got kicked out, so I know they're holding their heads kind of low. But and nothing against Ancelotti, Ancelotti or Lotti, Ancelotti. I apologize. I'm not Italian. If I mispronounce your name, dude, I'm sorry. But he's got a reputation. He is a good manager, but what I what I believe, Real Madrid need like a Coach Carter. If you guys remember the movie with Samuel Jackson, what I mean by that, and when I say they need a Coach Carter, they need a old fashioned, take no nonsense coach that's familiar with the current style of play, because like over the decades, things change. Like if you put Larry Bird in the NBA today with the stuff we got going on, he ain't gonna play the same like back in the day. Same thing with Jordan. If you put him in the current, like if you put a prime Jordan in the, actually, yeah, I'll just say that for everybody. If you take every one of the greats in basketball in their prime form and just slap them in today's current basketball like ecosystem, like listen, there's going to be a whole lot more fights on the court because I think was it the Rumble at the Palace. Like we like in the '90s and early 2000s, we actually had a lot more physical brawls that were like just headlining. Like they actually made news headlines when you had a big brawl break out in the middle of a basketball game. It was crazy. But today, I won't say that the fans aren't as diehard, but the facts are there. The NBA viewership is decreasing a little bit more and more. Shout out to the WNBA. They're got their deals and stuff going on. They're trying to make more, make more inroads for women in the NBA, well, WNBA. Go ahead, see, just man, Zidane. Zidane was the last coach before Ancelotti. Mm, man, I don't. Zidane would be a great coach, but I don't know if Vinny and Zidane will get along. And if you guys remember the headbutt, like, yeah, Vinny might get headbutt. Shout out to the, shout out to the viewers. Shout out to the all two of y'all. The only two people that really watch me. Shout out to y'all. Y'all deserve it. Let me see. Davies, Musialala, Popovich. I never really thought about it that much, but yeah, Madrid has like a whole. Let me see, because I know they paid a lot for Mbappe. Okay, so oh, okay, so Mbappe transferred when his contract expired. Damn. And I just realized that too. PSG has been tearing it up this year, which is crazy because when Mbappe was with PSG, you know, and the coaches even said that they've been performing better without him. I guess those dictator Mbappe memes kind of reign through. Me, I call it the LeBron James effect. Once a player gets so big, he's expected. Well, I wouldn't say expected, but once you get so big as a player, I think ego kicks in. Because I think I noticed he had like the little black thing going around it. I hope that wasn't the captain's armband, because I remember he pulled a stunt like that. I think the last time France went to the World Cup, he went on the pitch and literally told the actual captain, "Hey, take that off. I'm taking the armband. I'm the captain now. I am the captain." Oh shoot! Anybody watch that Captain Phillips movie? You'll get the "I am the captain." You'll get that reference. Let me see. Okay, so Mbappe transferred as his contract expired. He did get his signing bonus. Let me find out how much was the signing bonus. But without the signing bonus, just for Vinicius Jr. and Bellingham, they paid over up to like 149 million euros. If you can convert that over to dollar, it's a lot. It's over 100 mil just for two guys. And well, okay, we're gonna just bump that to 200, and yeah, I'm gonna just round it up to 250 mil. Uh, Mbappe received a signing on fee of 100 million to be paid over the length of his contract, not all up front. But still, that's 100 mil, 100 million euros. I'll let you guys do the conversion yourselves. But yeah, there are 250 million euros in the hole just on three players. Let me see. A little spliff went out on me. So in total, for Harry Kane, they paid 95 million euros. For Luis Diaz, they paid 70 million euros. For Olise, they paid 59 millions euros projected. It gives a range of 53 to 59 million euros. So I'm guessing they don't have like concrete numbers on his paperwork, but damn, they're still up there too. I think. Let me go. So if I add all that together, I'm gonna go. Just I'll add it all up to the high end. That'd be 224 million. So they're about 25 million. Yeah. €25 million less than Madrid for their front line. And to kind of just, well, let me go. Let me take that. Go back one. Shout out to the viewers. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you do leave a comment, I got it set up finally, so all comments will show up on screen. But let me go pull up the La Liga standings. So yeah, right now, Real Madrid is number 2 on the La Liga standings. Y'all have to excuse me. I gotta turn my print on for a second. I need to run an update. Shout out to all the tech support people. I know that was a random shout out, but my damn printer decided to update all of a sudden while I'm deciding to stream. So shout out to the tech support people out there. Y'all deserve it. Let me go ahead and share the screen. But yeah. They're number 2 in La Liga. And at this point, it's done. Like, I don't even know how many matches they have left. I'd have to actually, yeah, I'd have to check I'd have to check the game schedule. But they would literally have to win every single remaining match. Madrid just, like, think about that. That means every remaining match of the season they would have to win. Barcelona would have to lose all their remaining matches. Because even if I'm not familiar with the point system all the way, but if I'm familiar enough, when you draw, there's when it goes 0-0 or 1-1, when you draw, there's no points given or taken away from you. It's just zero, nothing really. You you stay with the current count of points. I believe if you lose, you know there are some points taken from you as you go down. I wouldn't say go down. I say they do have points taken from you if there are certain infractions, like breaking the rules and stuff like that. They will pull points off from you. But yeah, like they're in an impossible position to really fight out of it. I mean, you got Atletico Madrid, which is crazy now that I think about it. Atletico is on routes to have like the best season, low key, because they made it past Barcelona. They made it past them. Now they're in the semi. It's not the semifinals, but the yeah, the semifinals or whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, they also have Copa del Rey, which, if they, I'm not going to say they're going to win the Champions League. If I have to give my pick on that, it's Bayern. Between Bayern and PSG, those are my two favorites to win the Champions League. between the two of them, somebody's going to win. I was hope well, I was hopeful for a little minute for Sporting, and the only reason because the first match they had, they only lost by one. And if you saw the match they had against Bodo Glint, when I think they just tanned them like 5-0 or 5-1. It was uh, language warning. So if you got kids in the room, cover their ears and just turn the volume down for a second. But yeah, Bodo got their asses whipped brutally, like 5-1, 5-0 by Sporting in their second leg. So I was kind of disappointed. I did bet right because I had a parlay in, and I had a feeling they were going to draw because Arsenal, they've been kind of tanking in their own league these past couple games, but also because, like what I was saying about Bodo Glint, that second leg, Sporting really attacked hard and aggressively. They were on them like white on rice until they just pretty much beat them into submission. Because I don't care how good your team is, it's hard to come back from a 4-0, deficit. It's hard. Like was what they call it, it was a Roman Tata, or yeah, Roman Tata. Like, look at Barcelona. You know, if they had literally just scored one more, just one more, this would have been a whole nother story. This would have, because yeah, I think they were just one off, and then go tie. They're gonna take it to a penalty shootout, and from Athletic, Sarloff, um, he's a good striker. Their strikers are good, but in a Champions League shootout, I would rather go with Barcelona over Athletic, even though I think they're going to do good. Depending on who they're playing in their next match, I think they will. Well, let me check real quick. I know somebody's at home like, bro, you don't know the schedule already? It's like, no, shoot, I work two jobs. I ain't got time to be aware of all this. Okay, so Arsenal is going against. Oh, oh, man, that. Oh, oh. Okay, so it's on May 5th. Okay, but damn, that kind of sucks. I didn't want Bayern and PSG to go against each other so soon. I was kind of hoping for that to be the end match of the Champions League to see who's the champions. I wanted it to be Bayern and PSG just going for the goal, but or the trophy. I forgot the damn Champions League trophy is like silver, if I'm not mistaken, or platinum, but whatever metal alloy they use. But yeah, like because Arsenal has been playing in bad form, and yeah, it would have been better to just split them up, have Bayern take care of Arsenal, have PSG go ahead and whip Atleti. Now they still got the Copa del Rey thing going on, so they'll be okay. Um, shit, what else did I have? No, that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, Bayern versus PSG. That's one of them games where I'll have to. Well, I'll double check to see if it's at a home or away. But if it's at home, whoever has the home field advantage, that's going to play a big role. That's going to play a big role. Arsenal versus Atleti. Mm, I'm sorry, guys. I'll be honest. Atleti can be boring at times, especially when they start parking the bus or like try to just hold on to the ball, passing it around just to waste time. But it is extremely, extremely boring. Like there are some points where I'm watching and then I'm like, okay. And I'll say this as a disclaimer because I think yeah it was a homegirl I had back in elementary, Dora. Because yeah, shout out to Dora by the way if she's watching this. She used to well, I don't know if she still does or not, but she used to rep Chivas real hard out of Guadalajara. And I remember her just saying like it's part, it's part of being a fan. Like when you go to a certain length or whatever to have or display your support of a certain team, it's it's powerful. It's a powerful thing. Thought I burnt my mustache for a second there. But yeah. But hey, at least now that Madrid is out, the staff can focus on the team. Because yeah, they need to hit the reset. Like I don't know if they have to alternate from Mbappe to Vinicius Jr. Or I'll just say Vinny to Vinny, because if they both play on the left side well, you're gonna get like a funnel of play just all the way on the left side. And the thing about Arsenal or like any of the other upper teams, if you have the ability to analyze play on the fly, like as they're playing, and kind of peep out the vulnerability, and I will say this, the modern football strategist has hell to pay because it's not easy. Like these people use simulators. I got AI technology going off in the background. Like they really have an upper leg on some of this stuff. So like even when you're oh darn, I forgot the word. But even with like sports betting, even like the odds they give you are always in the actual house's favor. No matter if you win or lose, they're gonna get theirs from, maintenance fees or whatever fees they tax on to ship stuff overseas and have people come back and yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, guys. I gotta go ahead and turn in, get ready for work in the morning. Plus, I got some leftovers I'm trying to warm up and eat too. But yeah, like they need to bring in an old school coach that don't take no BS. If need to, separate Mbappe and Vinny and have them alternate. Let Mbappe come on for the first half on the left side, and then let Vinny come in on the left side for the second half. Because doing it on a well, how do I say this? God, I be getting stumped on my own words. So if you ever get stumped, don't feel bad. I forget my words too. Of course. Yeah, with the Madrid, they need a reset. They need an old fashioned, take no BS judge, um, take no BS coach, someone that can, find either a way to play both Mbappe and Vinny together or have them alternate. because with Bellingham, you have someone that can, you know, pass the ball well, that has good ball IQ, and is I wouldn't say isn't the fastest, but in those short moments where he can burst past well, no diddy, I use the word burst. I got to be careful. So when that sequence goes down and you're able to get the upper hand, it's one of those situations where this this coach will actually be the better thing because I feel like the players have big egos and you need to like bring it down a little bit and make it more about the club itself. So if he has to go in there and say, "Hey, all those who didn't show up to practice or those that didn't, do what it's supposed to do, you got to, fall in line for procedure or else, you get traded." And I would hate to see Mbappe get traded away, but I mean, I think he has a younger brother working playing for PSG back in France. So boom, right there, slide right on in. Mm. Oh man, my hand is sore. But yeah, swap it up with the attack patterns, change the tactic up a little bit, and any players that just can't get in with the program, trade them. Because yeah, if I remember, they fired the last coach because problems with Vinny. He's yelling, "Oh, I'm going to leave this team," and hey, you know, if he feels like he can do better elsewhere, it's just goes to show you that even though Real Madrid have a star-studded lineup, they're not impenetrable. As I think was it was Dortmund or Leverkusen that gave them their first loss in the Bundesliga, and I think they keep it somewhere in a box, just like to as a reminder, like, hey, shit happens. But yeah, let me get out of here, guys. I gotta go get ready for bed, warm up these leftovers. Thank you for hanging out with me and just vibing. I appreciate it.